We've been sharing Jan Lambourne's story with you this morning, the Manitoba woman who was wounded in that deadly attack in Las Vegas. Jan has said to us that she owes her life to a young man who found her. We're going to meet him in just a moment. But here is some of Jan Lambourne's telling our Briar Stewart how she was alone, in the dark, and panicked aftermath, shot through the abdomen, through the hip, badly hurt, and under a wheelbarrow, hiding.
Then I had this military guy that's found me. His name was Justin. And he went and got help and came back. And him and I think there was about 4 of them carrying me. Got me through the open zone, I think they called it, but got me to the ambulance. And he stayed with me the whole time in the ambulance too. And he stayed with me at the hospital, and he used my phone to get a hold of all my family. He was amazing. The last time I seen him was when they took me in for surgery. And he saved my life.
Jan Lambourne, as she told Briar Stewart about what happened and how she was saved, even after being badly wounded. His name was Justin. Let me tell you, his full name is Justin Uhart, and he's on the phone with me from Las Vegas this morning. Justin, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You heard there in that introduction, you heard the voice of Jan as she told all of us about your actions and how you saved her life. As you were listening her there, what was going through your mind? What are you thinking about what you meant to her?
I don't know. That's a difficult question, and a lot of feelings and emotions just really come to mind. Her eyes are the biggest thing that I remember seeing, as desperate and help and don't leave. And I felt horrible because I didn't know. I'm not a professional. I didn't know what to do. I was just trying to plug her wound and call for somebody to help and do the best I could, and couldn't leave her. I just stayed with her the whole time as best as I could until the doctors kicked me out. But I remember her eyes looking at me, and I didn't. Those are the kind of things you just will remember the rest of your life, I guess.
You know, you were her lifeline because she had nobody there. And as you said, you plugged her wound, but you didn't just do it for a moment or two. You were with her for hours. And then you went with her into the ambulance and to the hospital. And what were you doing, not just helping her in terms of staunching the bleeding, but in terms of comforting her, making her feel better? What were the kinds of conversations you were having?
You know, anything I could say. We were talking about her cats. We were talking about what Canada was like. We were just talking about the littlest things, anything I could stupidly think of just to keep her away from the pain, because she was in a lot of pain, and every time she moved or every time I had to put more pressure on it, she would scream. And there was a lot of paramedics and obviously a lot of hectic things going around us. And I just told her to keep looking at me and relax, I'm not leaving, and try to calm her down. And then in the ambulance, it was pretty emotional. The ambulance was not just 2 or 3 people, it was packed with over 9, 10 people. And one of my barbacks, he was in there, and I knew people in the ambulance, and plugging her wounds and talking to people and just trying to calm them down. And it was hectic beyond any description that I'm allowed to give.
Justin, you've said a couple of times, I'm not leaving. I couldn't leave her. This is someone you didn't know. You yourself in danger in that chaotic atmosphere with gunshots all around. Tell me about why you stayed and why you didn't think of yourself, why you couldn't leave this woman.
You know, a lot of people have asked me that before, but I was working the event, and when the first shots started going, it was a fight or flight instinct. And I ran towards the stage looking for the shooter because I thought he was inside. And I don't know, I thought I was going to stop him. But on my way there, I saw a girl, and she was moving, and so I tried to help her, but she was actually convulsing and dead already, and I knew I couldn't help her, and I just started yelling at people to run out, and this is real, run, get the F out. I yelled and get out. I had a security guard die on top of me while I was hiding. He was shot in the back. And then when I finally started running in between the gunshots, I saw Jan, and I don't know, it just instantly gunshot wound, plug it, stop the bleeding. I don't know. It was just there, and I couldn't leave, and everything was going on, and the gunshots still kept coming down. So I just screamed for help, professional help, and luckily we got it.
You know, there have been many extraordinary stories of people who did the same heroic things that you did, who stopped to help perfect strangers, even as the bullets came. And a lot of those people don't know what happened to the people they helped, or the people who were helped don't know what happened to their rescuers. But it's interesting that on Facebook, you connected, so you know her name is Jan, you know she survived. Knowing that, and how does that make you feel? And I'm wondering if you may actually reconnect personally at some point.
Oh, absolutely. If there's any way I can get a hold of Jan, I want to see her as soon as possible. Unfortunately, my car, my keys, everything is still at the crime scene and locked down, and we can't get it. The staff can't get any of your stuff. So it's been very difficult. Thank God. I went to a Verizon store, and they gave me a free burner phone, basically. And then Jen's family has been reaching out to me, and I've been trying to talk to them, and I did talk to her husband on the phone the night of everything happened, and if I could ever talk to Joseph and meet him, and that was one of the toughest phone calls I've ever had to experience, because he had all these questions, and my response was, I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know, and he was 5 hours away from the nearest airport, and he just wanted something to talk to and answer. I didn't have anything. I was just holding her hand, and she just got rushed to the emergency room. So it was very, very difficult scenario for anybody, as you can imagine.
You know, you have seen things, you have experienced things that no one should see or experience, and I am so pleased to have spoken to you and to have shared your story. You know, we're a national newscast, so the country probably listening to every word of yours and thinking, there's a young man who has restored our faith after so much sadness this week. Justin, thank you so much.
No, absolutely. And thank you very much for calling me, and hope everybody is well and moving on from this, and keep your head up to everybody.
And you too. I hope you can move on to this too. Justin Uhart in Las Vegas, what a pleasure.